guys, literally, it is 7:30 a.m. Welcome to another episode. Welcome to another video. Today is going to be really cool, kind of. Exciting week in our house. This week, the Boiga nigriceps, the eggs are hatching. We have babies to show you. So today's video, we're going to take out one of the newborn baby nigriceps, and we're going to talk a little bit about nigriceps some more and give you guys a look at a comparison between a brand new baby and an adult. We'll talk about a little bit with the color change that they go through and just a little bit about them. And then we have a really fun surprise at the end of this video. About halfway through, when we're done talking about the nigriceps, I'm going to be leaving and headed down to our local FedEx hub to pick up a package of 2 more animals, and those 2 animals are also Boiga. They're also young. You've seen the species on my channel before, but you have not seen it since the Boiga episode. I haven't had these since then, and I'm gonna have them again, so that's really exciting. They are coming from Dan Malaria at DM Exotics, and those should be here around 10:30 or so. I don't know if I said this, but it's about 7:30 a.m. right now. So yeah, in about a couple hours we'll go pick those up. So let's go inside. We're gonna talk about some nigriceps stuff, and then we'll take a trip down to the post office and we'll pick up those animals. And I'll see you guys in just a little bit. Excuse me for needing to wake up a bit this morning. See you in a sec. Oh, focus, focus, focus. Welcome back. Where do we start? I've already introed this video, so we know what we're getting into today. So let's jump right into it. We're talking about nigriceps to start this video off. The reason I got out a big one is because you've seen them before. It'll refresh you on exactly what we're talking about. And today's episode, we're going to talk about the care for these things, ways to set them up, the temperatures they need, incubating them. I'm going to show you some eggs that I have incubating right now actually as well, so that way you can get an idea of what the eggs look like and the setup for that. We'll talk about the time that they take, because there's quite some time. But yeah, without further ado, this is Grim. This is my male Boiga nigriceps. You guys have seen him before. He's doing absolutely great. Now, we won't spend too much time talking about where these come from, because we pretty much have done that every time we've brought them out. But for those of you guys who are new to the channel or new to the species, this is Boiga nigriceps, or the black-headed cat snake. Call it the black-headed cat snake for obvious reason. Now, these are an Asian species of cat snake. They are a colubrid. They're going to come from Thailand. They're going to range about 5 to 6 feet in length. Relatively slender animals, and rear-fanged venomous colubrid, meaning that they use a primitive delivery system to chew venom into their prey. They do not have a way of injecting us with venom the way that most snakes do. So for the most part, they're relatively harmless, but you still want to be really careful working with snakes like this. Most of them you don't want to handle the way that I do. I know these animals really, really well. I've had them for quite some time. I know their demeanor, their displacement. I know their demeanor, I know their nature, their habits. I know when they're telling me that they're upset. I know when my phone's falling over. And yeah, if you work with these animals, they're actually really good. They're really social. They don't mind being handled or hung out with, so long as you stay calm with your movements in front of their face. They're very motion-oriented, very sight-motivated animals, but very good snakes. So, talking about care on nigriceps. Most of your cat snakes are going to be relatively similar care. They're going to want more moderate temperature, a little bit on the cooler side, much more humid than a lot of species. Now, these guys are extremely closely related to mangrove snakes, which most of you know of. Stop it, phone. And mangrove snakes, like their name entails, live in marshy mangroves. So they hang out in the mangroves, by the marsh, by the swamp, come down, get any kind of little prey items that are hanging out around the swamp looking for food as well. And these guys are going to inhabit kind of relatively similar areas. The thing with Boiga is that they're pretty diverse in their habitat. So some are going to come from like the mangroves, a little bit more tropical. Some will come from what's like a little bit more of a like a desert land or like a forest land, lots of big branches, a bit drier, like your cynodon. These guys are going to be a bit more tropical, as are the two that are coming in just a little bit that we're going to pick up. So without dragging on the regular Nigercept stuff too long, let's talk about care for these a little bit. And the care advice that I'm going to give you for the Nigercepts is pretty much the same advice that I would be giving you for my cynodon or mangroves or cyanea or any of the commonly seen and kept species in the US. So now care on these guys, I'll tell you exactly how I have them set up. I have them set up in a like 40-gallon tub that is well ventilated, both the lid and the sides, but it is ventilated with small holes because, like I said, these are a much more tropical, more humid animal. So part of why I keep them in a tub is because I'm in Arizona and it's very hard for us to keep humidity here with the air sucking everything out. So I keep them in a tub. I have a couple hides in the tub, some moss up in the corner for a humid area, and then some moss under one of the hides for a humid hide, and then a few branches because these are a semi-arboreal snake. So branches are great for them. They like to drape their body out. They will sit and kind of hammock themselves across the branches like this and sit and wait for something to come by. And now when I say wait for something to come by, their primary food source is going to be things like birds, small rodents, sometimes other small reptiles, small lizards and stuff like that. Anything that they might find passing by them on a branch hanging out in a tree. The reason that they're a fan of birds is because they will not only eat birds, but they will also raid nests. And an interesting thing with Boiga that not too many snakes do is they will actually find a bird's nest, they will raid it, they will eat the birds that are in it, both the eggs and the adults, and then they will utilize that nest to lay eggs of their own, which I think is extremely interesting. And it's super smart for the species because it keeps the eggs up off the ground and collects water, stays humid. There's a lot going for them in doing that. So I think that's really interesting. Sorry, I'm getting a little bit distracted. But anyways, so you want to set them up in something that's going to retain humidity. You don't want to keep them too hot. So giving them a small basking spot that they can drape out under maybe would be something great for them. I don't personally do that because my room stays about 82, 83 degrees. Anything hotter than that I would not recommend for Boiga. So everything that I keep in this room either has a small basking spot or stays at ambient temperatures. A lot of what I keep is old world, tropical, subtropical, comes from a little bit cooler ranges. So for me, it helps to keep stuff ambient, saves a little bit of money, lets me worry less about fires and things like that. My snakes enjoy it. I just live in a place where I'm able to do that. So keep them around 78 to about 83 degrees is your window for prime temperatures for them. I think right around like 80 to 82 is nice and warm for them. And then that way, if it drops to 76, 78 in the evening, they're still perfectly fine. And then keep that humidity around 75, 80% if you can. I know that seems like a lot, but it's relatively simple if you do keep them in something like a tub and then you just have a very large water dish and then maybe some moss under a hide. You can maintain humidity relatively easy for these guys. Now, this guy's getting, I won't say cranky, but he's definitely starting to tell me he's probably ready to go back. So let me put him away, and then I'm going to show you how I set up baby Boiga. I'm going to show you one of the hatchlings from this little guy, and then we will show you the setup for the other two I'm going to go pick up, and then we'll probably go pick those up and finish this video up talking about care and stuff, and then that species as well. So let me put him away, and then I will grab our first baby out of the egg. Fun story about this one as well. It scared the shit out of me 2 days ago. Worst thing that could have ever happened in my opinion, and it happened, but we're good now. We named the little guy Uno because he was the first to hatch, and spoiler to the story, he was the first to escape. So let me put Grim away, and then I'll be right back with that baby, give you guys a closer look. All right, put some sanitizer on. Even though those were the parents we were just messing with, you can never be too safe, especially with a newborn little baby. Clean up real quick. And actually, I haven't taken this one out of the tub yet because one of the first things I want to show you is how I set the tub up. Now you're going to notice there's some electrical tape on the sides of this tub. Now, the reason for that. So, see these small little holes? Now these tiny little ones are adequate size. The snake will not get out of them. Yeah, they're just too small. Snake's bigger than the hole is. And I thought that was going to be the case with these size up as well. And I wanted to put a few just larger ventilation holes in it. Not that I needed it. I say this all the time. Don't overcomplicate things if you don't need to. And that's what I did. I overcomplicated it. I thought I needed air flow that I didn't need. And I created a perfect exit for this little snake to escape its tub the very first night that we put it in there. And that is on me. I'm not proud of that moment. I stressed out super heavy. To put it into perspective for you guys for what was going through my head, I have kept my Boiga for years now, and they are my favorite snakes on the planet. I say that about like my chondros and green trees. Very special place in my heart, but everyone finds a niche, or everyone finds a species of something that like just really grabs them. And yes, chondros did that for me getting into the hobby, but Boiga have done that for me since. And if there's one genus of snakes that I will forever work with and try to better the species, it will be Boiga. So they're also incredibly difficult to breed. Not a lot of people are breeding them, and not a lot of people have really even figured it out yet. So for me, this was a huge deal. Grell, my female Nigroceps, was the cat snake that got me into Boiga. I've had her the longest, and she is the one that has laid me my first clutches of eggs, which while we chat, I'm going to actually grab those, just show you guys really quick. But this was my first clutch, and I haven't done a lot of snake breeding. I'll be honest with you guys, it's more so just always been keeping. I've been a hobbyist. I've tried my hand in breeding geckos and things like that, and we've done well, but I have always wanted to breed snakes. I have always wanted to try to further preserve and conserve these species that I appreciate and enjoy. And with Boiga, this is a huge moment for me to have successfully reproduced a clutch of Boiga eggs, and to have them hatching out and to have tangible babies in front of me is a really big deal. And to have one that made it out from the very first clutch that she had, I haven't talked about this much, but the very first clutch that she laid were all slugs. It was a retained, when I say retained, she had sperm from the wild. She wasn't import. So she had sperm from a male in the wild that she had bred with. And I'm going to assume, due to the stress and everything of being imported and brought into the country, she retained that sperm versus ovulating and developing eggs and stuff like that, and laying eggs. And so she didn't. And then about a year after I had her, weirdly enough, I went to pull her out one night, and for some friends that were over, she was laying eggs. And super weird. I was under the impression she was a male from when I had bought her as well, which was a little bit of a shock, but not a bad one. And yeah, so she laid a clutch of slugs. And so I went on a mission to find a male. I found the male that I was supposed to get years ago from Dan Malary, that someone locally had kind of, long story, but had weaseled out of me being able to get, and kind of taken just to, I don't know, disrupt odds, chances, productivity, whatever it was. Not everyone's going to hope that you're successful in this world, and you'll learn that the hard way. Some of you won't, and for those of you, congrats, because it's really annoying and it sucks. But sometimes you'll have a lot of people working against you when they see that you're doing things. And yeah, so it was tough for us to get that male Nigroceps. Anyways, we got that male Nigroceps, and they started pairing up, and she started developing eggs, and sure enough, I had a clutch of 4. Now, the sad part to that story, and part of the name Uno, is because that first clutch that she laid with the male, she laid 4. 1 went bad immediately, and then 2 had really weird mishaps that, again, it's the learning curves of breeding snakes and trial and error. And a lot of people don't talk about the downsides to stuff, but it is what it is. So that first clutch, we had one that just wasn't a good egg. It went bad right away. And then we had two more that they went about 3 months, and then during an expansion time, about a week apart from one another, found a weak spot in the calcium because probably improper humidity, which is my fault, and they kind of exploded out the side of the egg through that weak spot. And those eggs were gone too. And I sat and crossed my fingers and stressed over one sole little egg that sat in that incubator. And as of a few days ago, what day exactly was it? June 18th was when the animal came out of the egg on its own. I'm sorry, that's way off. That sounded weird. October 12th is the day that it came out of the egg. June 18th was when it was laid, and October 10th was when it pipped for the first time we saw it in there. So, and actually we cut the egg because I was getting nervous about that one, and as soon as I saw that there was a breathing baby inside of it, I left it alone, let him come out on his own. So yeah, this is Uno, and I don't know if you guys picked up on that, but laid June 18th, born October 12th. 100, if I'm not mistaken, 116 days incubation. That's a long time, you guys. This isn't like, it's not ball pythons where we're talking like 30 days or however long ball pythons take. 120 days. 4 months, you guys. That's a long time for eggs that are very sensitive to humidity and very sensitive to temperatures. Now, like I said, I keep this room ambient about 82, 83 degrees. It's early in the morning, so the room does warm up a little bit more towards the afternoon. But if I hit this mat back here, which is the ambient outside where it's a bit cooler, it was 78 degree read, which is perfect for what I want the eggs that are up in that spot to be at. Now, if I go behind that mat right now and take a read, it's probably about 2 to 3 degrees higher. They're up in a dark spot up in the closet where warmth collects a little bit more, and it is probably about 81. So I'm going to grab those real quick, show you what the incubation looks like. We're not going to spend a lot of time talking about that. I'm just going to show you how I've kind of like layered some hatchite and some, or perlite, whatever you want to call it, and some moss, and yeah, but then we're going to pull out the one that we have right now. I do have 4 more that are incubating. That's what you're going to see. And then, guys, our snakes are here. I just got a message and I just saw it pop up. So let's talk about this setup, show you the tubs and stuff. Then I'll go grab those. I'll take you guys with me, and then we'll finish talking about this stuff. But let me grab the eggs really fast. All right. Now this clutch was laid 9/28. You're not gonna be able to read that. I'll show you this way. This clutch was laid on the 28th. And our setup essentially just looks like if you rolled up to a little patch of the lake and found a little spot of moss to sit down in. That's really what it looks like. I'm going to show you from the side. I do have a few layers in here. Like I said, humidity was my issue with the last clutch. And I want to make sure that humidity is not an issue with this one. So I have lots of perlite in here that these are buried down in the center of. And then I also have lots of moss in here. And I'm just going to show you guys really quick and gently. Four beautiful looking eggs. Now they are marked on top because when you candle your snake eggs, you are going to be looking for the embryo of the snake. It's going to look like a dark spot, sometimes like a little, almost like a little worm or a little swirly spot, a little dark spot. Sometimes depending on the snake, it'll look like, you know, like the little eye in the head and stuff. It can look different, so don't look at one photo of an embryo, because also that's going to change on what it looks like depending how far along in development it is in the egg. So when they are first born and you candle them, you have to really know where to find that dark spot, and you're looking for vein networks connected to it. And the stronger the vein goes to the embryo, you know you're in the right right path or direction. So those guys are buried right about here, all the way back on this side. They look awesome still. We're climbing close to a month on incubation on these guys, so I'm going to go set them back, and then we'll take a look at these tubs really quick. Okay. So the point of the banner, guys, back there, is just because that closet door doesn't want to shut, and he's ugly in there. Hate looking in the closet. Hate having background noise. It's already noisy enough. All right, so baby Boiga setup. Sorry for the glare. There's better light in here with the window open. But yeah, it's gonna make this part a little difficult. So let's go ahead and show you a few things. First and foremost, pins. Pins are a good idea for any tub that you're using. Locks the lid down. So most tubs will latch over here, especially smaller tubs will only have 2. They won't have all 4. They won't have 6 or however many. So quick little drill. I'm going to show you how to. Straight down through the top of the lid and through the lip of where that tub is. You can drill straight through and throw basically any nail or screw down into it and pin it like you would a screen top tank, which helps. Next thing is Arboreal hides. We're going to get into that in a second because that's more than likely where our Nigroceps is. So we're going to set him right here. I don't think he's going to come out. I should see him if he does. He's bright orange little noodle. And here, let's do this. So, pretty simple setup. You guys can see there's a water dish down below, a few branches because like I said, semi-arboreal snakes. I put a little kind of like ledge up there that he can climb on. It's actually a gecko ledge. I cut a piece of Tupperware and just super glued a circle where the food cup would go. That way he just has like a little platform. He's not just going to go through it and has more space to lay out. Like I said, branches, and then down at the bottom there's also a humid hide. That's just based with some perlite and then some moss on top and a little piece of Tupperware with a bolt cut out of the lid. And that works really well for makeshift, just making sure they have nice humidity. And so does the other thing I'm going to show you, which is super cheap and easy to do. And oh my goodness. Bear with me, guys. The universe is against me today on making this video for you. Okay, so the humidity hide is super important. They kind of desiccate really easy when they're young. They need lots of high humidity, and that's why this other piece is important, super cheap and easy to do. This is what I'll call a sky hide. Now these are super easily put together. I'm going to show you how I made this one. Let me just pop it off gently and make sure we don't damage the little snake that's sitting inside of it. Now really quick, before I take the snake out, while I have the free hands, let me just show you. This is very simple to make. A Tupperware lid, 3 half-inch screws, 3 bolts, and now what you're going to do is you're going to screw them in and leave just enough of a lip. The easiest way to do it is just take your hide on the top, mark your holes. I put one on each side of the tub and one on the back, so it has 3 points to lock and slide and lock into. And drill from the top, that way you make your little billet hole, and then go from the bottom, screw your screws in, feed your little bolts down onto them just because it kind of ties things off and makes them nice. You don't have to worry about the hide getting loose. And then what's really, really awesome is that the hide just literally will slide in and out. Let me get this in an angle you can see. the hide will just slide in and out on these grooves right here. So if you want to put it in, just line it up and you just slide it in. But I'm going to take the snake out, so I'm not going to put it back on just yet. Now, here is our little one. And to show you guys a little bit better, I just take these little hides. They're like $2, $3 Pangea hides or whoever makes them. Stuff them with some forest moss, clip them in up top, and the Boiga don't really leave them. So now let me try to let you guys see. Can never get this thing to focus for you guys. Gosh, just one of the cutest little snakes on the planet. Come on. There we go. This one's been a little bit feisty with me before, so I was going to see if I could get just a little nippy strike out of him. He doesn't want to. God, I'm really trying to get it to focus for you guys. It's so difficult. So cool. So now, like I had said, the Nigerceps are called the black-headed cat snake, and for obvious reason. And if you haven't noticed by now, super cool thing about them is when they're babies, they are not born with a black head. They are born solid orange, and after a couple sheds will be like Twizzler orange. And then as they reach sexual maturity, that head will kind of go through a green phase and slowly turn black. Super, super cool. So this is Uno, our one of one first little Nigerceps. So cool. Very, very proud of this animal and this staple point in our keeping. So as you saw, tubs are super simple setup. Some cork, some foliage, places for them to hide, plenty of space for a little snake like this. And basically, it's exactly how we have the tub set up for what we're going to go pick up. Just to give you guys a look. Now, these ones also are taped off just because I don't know how large these babies are coming in, and we don't need a repeat of last time because these tubs are made with only the larger holes. So we're going to play it safe, but sky hides in these as well. Lots of branches, humid hides, all that good stuff. So for Nigerceps care, diet, birds and rodents is probably best for them. Some will like to do fish and things like that. For setup, lots of branches, lots of clutter. Give them good humid places to hang out and hide in. They love arboreal places to hide. They will look to go up. So if you can give them places to go up and feel comfortable, do that. They'll really appreciate it, and it'll help them do really well. And yeah, with that being said, let's put this little guy away, and let's go pick up some new snakes. Say bye, Uno. So cute. I'll go that way. I'll bite my finger. Do it. The camera will love you. All right, guys, let me put him away, and then I'll be right back. I'll see you in a second. Oh, all right, guys. Welcome to the Chum Bucket. If you don't have an old little beater Honda Civic at home, you're not doing things right, because you can get to the moon and back on a gas tank in this thing. So, let's go get some snakes, and then we'll be right back. Maybe I'll flip this around so we'll have a little journey. See you guys when we get to the post office. Cool? Alright guys, we made it to the FedEx. Time to go inside and grab these little things. If you guys haven't had this, I don't know what it tastes like. It's weird. Anyways, let's go grab those snakes, and then we'll be right back, and then we'll get home. See you in a sec. Alright guys, box is in the car. I'm showing it quickly because I don't want to give away what's in the box. It says right on the top of it. Also, it has like all my information on it. So let's go home, and then we'll open this bad boy up and take a look at what's inside. I'll see you guys in like another 10 minutes. Alright guys, welcome back. Here, let me fix the light. That should be a little bit better. We're home. We made it. We're back. Wasn't that far of a drive. We got them. Seems like everything's good. So let's not drag this on, and let's unbox these guys because I'm sure they are ready to come out. So let's fix my knife first and go ahead and cut into this little box. Like I said, I'm not going to show you guys the top and stuff because it's labeled on top what's in the box, and I don't want to just give away what's in the box. So, I will say this much. The species that we're about to pull out, about the same size as the Niagariceps, 5 to 6 feet, comes from the same area, and as I said, is coming from this gentleman right here. This is a purchase from Dan Malari. Those of you guys who are not familiar with DM Exotics, if you like this kind of stuff, if you like Boiga, Old World rat snakes, and large colubrids, oddball pythons and cool stuff like that, your green tree pythons, scrub pythons, really, really, really cool stuff. Someone that I look up to very much in this hobby, and once he's gone, because he is leaving the United States as of January, he will be moving to Thailand, so he'll be gone. And not that we're like best buddies or anything, but I'll miss having someone like that in the industry, and plan to do my best to kind of fill any shoes that I can on some of these weird species of stuff that you guys are interested in that he won't have anymore. Another little thing, invoices, good thing to send to customers. I order so many animals. There's no invoice. There is no, I'm going to cover it, but there is no label on the top, which it should have. And there is also no notice in case there's an inspection on the package. So guys, when you're shipping animals, make sure that you're including some of this stuff. It is the way that it's supposed to be done. Let's start unboxing this thing. Let me put it on my lap. Turn that around. I don't want you to see that. And let's see. I know so many people just rip through these unboxings, and I try not to. Of course, it's exciting, but I try not to just tear through everything. Cold pack, because I live in Arizona, and Dan's shipping from California. It's a little bit warm in both states right now, so very smart. Looks like there's nothing extra in here, and one animal. And two animals. And this is me being me, and as funny as it is, like kind of just being a fan of this reptile keeper and breeder, but I love the novelty behind the bags. Let me see if my knife will cut this, and if it won't, then I may have to go get some scissors. Now, this is the male. Awesome. He did label these for me. That is great news. Okay, so like I said, these are at 1.1. First looks right here. Really cool snake bags too, by the way. I'm pretty excited to have a snake bag with that print on it. So I'm trying to, I could just reach in and yank this little guy out. I don't want to. I'm trying to limit a little bit of stress, let the paper towel come out first. They can be a little bit of a snippety species. Not that this one seems to be at all, which is really cool. It looks like he might come out on his own if I just keep messing with him in here. I see his head. Cool. And there we go. There's the first one. Check this out. Oh, some spunk on these. Cool. So, don't bite my hand, I'm trying to focus. Oh, I can't focus. There we go. Man, how cool. Oh, come on. Well, that's dumb. I'm sorry, guys. I don't know why. My phone doesn't, there we go, want to focus. But for those of you who don't know or don't recognize this animal or are sitting there going, hey, what the heck is this thing? This is Boiga cyanea. Looks very different from the last one that I've shown you on this channel. This is the green cat snake. So, these guys do turn completely green. This guy's got quite an attitude on him, look at that. Can I get you? How cool is that? Oh. How cool. So, little Cyania. What a cool posture. What a cool little snake. So stoked on these guys. Definitely a little bit more, I guess you could say, finicky like the mangroves. Not quite as calm or mellow like the Cynodon or the Nigroceps. Definitely wants to juice me one or two. Man, what a stack. How cool is that? Looks like he's gonna bite my finger. So anyways, I'm not even really breaking any skin. So anyways, yeah, smaller Boiga. Completely green, so when they're born, they've got this orange body, this bright green head, some really cool yellows and oranges and stuff underneath them. Man, what a cool snake, though. I'm not doing anything to stress this little guy out. I'm not squeezing him. I'm barely holding him. I'm kind of just letting him do his thing. And if this is going to stress him out, I want to acclimate him to this now. Give me one more for the road. So we're going to put the male away. And let me show you really quick what that setup looks like. Man, these are so cool, though. Okay. I don't know if you guys can see that. He's trying to get me in the face. Huh. Crazy little guy. So, this will be his setup. I don't know if you can see in there, but we got some branches, like I said, a humid hide, some cork, some foliage. I'm going to go ahead and see if he wants to go cruise around in there. Again, we got a cool little sky hide on here for him. These ones are a little bit bigger on these guys. He's rattling his tail in there. Okay. And we have one more, who is right here. Let's go ahead and pop her tub open so it's ready for her. And again, you guys, these are rear-fanged venomous snakes, so I'm sitting here taking little bites from them. One, I know my reactiveness to this venom if it does work its way into my system, and I'm very safe. Also, these are very small Boiga. They don't really have large enough teeth to really even break skin. I was trying to find some small punctures to show you. Really aren't any. Also, primitive delivery systems, so they still have to chew on you. So I'm not saying that you should go out and be cool and get bit by a mangrove, because that could end really poorly for you. But if you're holding baby mangroves, baby Nigroceps, Cyania, any of that stuff, they're going to have a feisty attitude. You don't need to be afraid of them. please don't throw them across the room. If they bite onto you, you are not going to die. Yeah, let them get it out, put them back, keep holding them, but try to learn the animal, try to learn your comfort zone and everything before you just like do anything silly, really. Anyways, back to the topic. Sky hide, another setup. I'll show you this setup before we have her out. It'll be a little easier for me. Again, some branches, some hanging foliage, a humid hide, the sky hide with some moss that'll be up top. Neither of these have water in the dishes yet, of course, because I don't want to tip them and show them to you. So I'll go fill water dishes as soon as we're done with this video. Anyways, let's kind of wrap things up and let's unpack the female Boiga cyanea. Zip ties can be such a pain in the butt. Just because I like my fingers, and if I'm gonna lose one, I would prefer it be playing with one of my little Cerastes or something and not opening a snake bag. But that is just how you make sure snakes don't get out. And here is number 2. A little bit bigger than the male, just a little bit. Not sure if we're quite as spunky just yet. Lots of activity coming out of the bag, which is very good actually. You want these things to be a bit squirmy. You got attitude too? Oh yeah, you do. You got more attitude than the other one. You strike right away. So cool. So once again, these are Boiga cyanea. Neat thing to note and know about this species is the red kind of color that you see here is like neon orange when they're born. Actually, they look quite, got a good strike on you. They look quite a bit like Nigerceps, except they got this green head on them, where Nigerceps will kind of develop a green head later that will eventually turn black. These cyanea start with their green head and an orange body that inevitably turns green. But they have this super pretty orange, tangerine, yellow under the neck. Beautiful snakes. Like I said though, a bit spunky, especially compared to the Nigerceps you saw. Man, I'm excited to have these. So excited. It's been a while since I had one, and the one that I had, here, let me show you. One I had was a great big female. Went to a buddy of mine who keeps cyanea and is working with them as well. But she was a great big female. And she had a hell of an attitude on her. She tried to bite my face every time I held her, and it was, I'm not going to lie to you guys, it was kind of awesome just because she had that attitude on her. So anyways, this is the female. Like I said, moderate sized Boiga, about medium size if you want to compare like all of the Boiga. If you're talking Trapezii, which were recently reclassified, and some of the other smaller, I don't know why I flinched from that, but she was just turning around to chew on my pinky and I didn't feel like it. Ow! There you go. Doesn't actually hurt. The ow is more so just like, you just kind of say it. Did she break skin on that one at all? Kinda. You can kind of see a little prick. So cute. What are you so mad about? Very finicky little snakes. Super cool though. Very excited to have these. We're gonna go ahead and put this little crazy butt away. Let her settle in and calm down a little while. I'll give you one more look at her. So cool. Then she flings herself. So cool. and see, relatively calm, so long as you're calm. Don't go crazy with it. Don't get super close to their face if they're gaping their mouth at you, but even then, you know, you can get kind of close, but they're really a bit head shy. As they get older, they calm down quite a bit, but such spunky little snakes. And these guys are eating really well on some on pinky mice or fuzzy mice by now, so really excited to get these guys going, get things started in here. Anyways, like I said, we'll go ahead and put her away. Let her find herself without tying herself up outside the tub. I'm going to go ahead and put her away because more than likely she's going to want to find and go into this hide above any others. So go ahead and put the lid on for her. That way she can go ahead and mosey her way up there while she's in the process of exploring and finding. And that way you guys can see that. I know the tape's like right in front of it, but the little hide up there you can kind of see. They look really good. They're super cool. They work really well for the animals. They're great for any arboreal or semi-arboreal little snake, so highly recommend. Super easy. I spent like, to do all 3 tubs, all the little nuts and bolts and the hides, I probably spent $15 maybe, so super affordable. Real quick, because I brought it up, for those of you who don't remember, that is an adult Boiga Cyanea. That's my old girl Tatsumaki. She is with my buddy Aaron, Boiga Man or Soul Exotics, for those of you who don't know. That is where the Cynodon came from and stuff. He's got some cool stuff over there. He is working with Dendrophila divergens, the blue Polilo locale mangroves. And then he's working with like the Gymnocinctas, some other pretty cool stuff. So if you guys haven't checked him out and you're interested in Boiga stuff that's not what I keep, go check him out. I don't think he has a YouTube, but he does have an Instagram. It is Soul Exotics or Solano Exotics, or I think still Boiga Man for his personal. With that being said, that's today's video. I know today was a really long one. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Between me and you, I don't really care to have a YouTube. I don't care to be a pet tuber. I don't care to get rich and famous off of YouTube and doing this stuff. So these videos will either come out or they won't. And if you guys enjoy them, please let me know you enjoy them so that I have a reason to still make them. If you don't want to watch them, then I don't need to make them. This is what I do. Work with reptiles. This is what I do every day of my life and what I will do for the rest of my life. And it's not to be a YouTuber. So please, if you guys enjoy these videos, follow me on Instagram and show some support over there. That's where you're going to find access to anything that I am breeding and selling. Not that I sell it on there, but best place to contact me is on Instagram. Ask me any questions you guys would like. Leave a question on here if you have one. If there's something that we didn't cover, which I'm sure that there probably still is, please just ask. We'll cover it in another video. I want to do more Boiga videos because there's not enough information out there on them, which is also why I'm not overloading you in one episode. And we have some other stuff that I want to sit and talk about. We're directing everything to what we're working with now. So all your videos moving forward will more than likely be Boiga, Morelia, maybe the Somalia or scrub pythons. And then that's pretty much it. The Cerastes, the Sidewinders as well. But aside from that, hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. I hope this was a little bit of fun, something different. I love you. I couldn't and wouldn't do these without you. And I will see you guys on another episode. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and hit the notification bell. That way you know every time we upload a video. And I will say it one more time, if you're not following the Instagram, please go follow arboreal.obscurities. We're going to start doing what's called AO After Dark. We're going to do Instagram lives late at night, have a few drinks, bring whatever you'd like. Let's shoot the shit unfiltered, ask questions, make jokes, tell stories. Should be a lot of fun over there. So follow the Instagram, and I love you guys. I'll see you on another episode. Peace.
I feel good.